Pound him back to the sea.
So today I'm going to be looking at the AAXA Technologies HP3 Halloween Projector. To be totally transparent, they reached out to me and they asked me to make this video. They are not reviewing the video before I post it. It's all just they gave it to me to give my own honest, fair review is what they asked me to do. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'll tell you exactly what this is good for and what it's not good for. Here is the projector. It's black and orange, so Halloween themed, and it's a pretty compact size. It comes with a remote, comes with a power cable that's actually a fairly long power cable, and then also an AV cord if you need to hook it up to older AV equipment. But most people will be either using the built-in features with videos or using HDMI on this. Let's do a size comparison between the HP3 projector and some other projectors on the market. So this is an Epson projector. This is a fairly standard projector that you would see in like a school or business or something. This is the size of most of Epson's standard projectors that are out there. Then we've got another big boy, which is this Ricoh projector. So now this one is really heavy, and this is a short throw projector. So this would be useful for doing like projection mapping on a house or something like that. So this one's even bigger. It's a big boy, short throw projector, giant glass lens on it. And we could compare it to this Pico projector. This is another AAXA projector that I bought years ago that I really love. It's the P4X Pico projector, battery powered and everything like that. So if we look at the size on this one, I mean, you are significantly smaller with something like this. Again, all of these have different pros and cons as far as brightness, contrast, and their usability. This one like has a built-in battery. Really cool projector. Have loved AAXA projectors for a long time. So this projector really isn't comparing to those other ones. Those are different uses, different things that you would have to do, different price points. So, but this projector I think is more closely trying to compete with something like this, which is the Vankyo projector. You'll see a lot of these, they're basically the exact same projector, just put in a different housing with a different label. They all have the same inputs and everything like that. And they're basically all the same projector. So now these are very, very similar. I would imagine they probably have similar internals and everything like that, but I have done some tests to compare the two and see the difference between them. If you look at the side here, this one has a VGA input, which I would never use. You've also got USB, HDMI, HDMI. You've got a micro SD card, and then the AV input, headphone. So very, very similar in that respect. Very similar up front. Similar on the side with the power port, and then on the back, the speakers. So this one has the IR for the remote on the back. This one has the IR for the remote on the front. I haven't noticed any difference in how well it works one way or the other. Even the remotes are fairly similar. You've got the Vankyo remote here and the AAXA HP3 remote here. The buttons on the top are similar but different. Your keystone adjustment is very similar. This one's a little bit smoother feeling, and same with your focus is very similar on both of these projectors. One of the biggest differences and a feature that I love out of the HP3 is right here. You've got a 1/4-20 mount for mounting to a tripod if you want over here. And over here you don't have that. You do have this little foot that can kind of raise up and down to get a better height angle, whereas this, you don't have a height adjustment on it. But put it on a little tripod, something like this little Manfrotto, and you actually have a lot more flexibility and adjustability out of this with a 1/4-20 than you do with this trying to prop it up on books or do whatever, because this isn't going to cut it. But by far the biggest difference between this projector and any of the other projectors is right here. You get a 4 gig micro SD card that is preloaded with some really great Halloween videos. Okay, so let's take a look at what we get on the micro SD card. So the content that we get, it's 6 different videos, all from a company called Spectral Illusions that I'm assuming they got some sort of a licensing deal to use these. And I looked them up as far as pricing goes, and if you were to buy these videos on their own from Spectral Illusions, you're going to be paying anywhere from like $80 to $90, depending on if you buy them in a bundled package or not. All of the videos on here are 720p resolution, which is totally fine for doing window projections or projections in the yard, anything like that. And the Spectral Illusions, they do such great, awesome quality videos. So let's take a look and preview some of these videos that you'll be getting. So there's this pirate themed one. And this one's about 3 minutes and 47 seconds long, and they just talk back and forth and shoot the cannon. It's great for a pirate themed haunt that you've got going on. Then we've got this one here, which is the Electric Spectre, which is awesome for doing a hallusion effect sort of thing. Basically the idea of like projecting this onto a thin scrim-like material and making it look like a ghost is popping up in a hallway. So we've got that one. Again, another one for a good hallusion effect. So this is a Prudence Prim video. So she's a librarian and does kind of this creepy thing at the end where she jumps out. So awesome video, 46 seconds long. Then we've got this one, which is one of my favorites if you've got a walkthrough haunt of any sort. You've got the haunt rules pop up, and then this guy, kind of like the Crypt Keeper, explains all of the haunt rules as you go. And then the haunt rules pop up again. So really awesome little thing to help with a haunted walkthrough. Let's see. We've also got the Phantom of the Park. So he comes out, he's got his top hat on and his lantern. So 32 seconds long on that one. And then the last one here is the Phantom Wraith, which comes out from the mist, looks around with his lantern, and then goes off. So 59 seconds long on that loop. So you've got these 6 videos, and again, you can add more videos to it. So you're getting $80 to $90 worth of videos pre-packaged in with this bundle, and they're great videos that can be used for lots of different things. Okay, so I've torn apart this room to set up this projector shootout, and we're going to be comparing all of these projectors here, and I've got it set up on this really big screen right here. I think this is a 120-inch diagonal screen. I've got all of the projectors placed at a distance where they're showing about the same size image. So you can see we've got the Ricoh short throw as the closest one right up here. Then we've got the AAXA HP3 Halloween projector right here. The Vankyo right next to it. The Epson is right here. And then the AAXA P4X is back here. And I've got this little sticky note over it because I'm going to be muting, basically covering the lenses on each of them so we can see the different brightness. I'll keep the camera at the exact same settings so you can actually see the brightness. Some projectors have it built in to mute the lens by covering it up, or they have a mute button on it to mute to black out the screen essentially. And so you'll be able to see an actual side-by-side comparison on what you would be getting with these projectors. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so what you're seeing here is the Vankyo projector. It was by far the hardest one to set up as far as getting it on the screen correctly and not being all angled weird. It's still a little bit out of focus. So this is the brightness of this one. We're going to be looping this video, so I'll just show you this video over and over again because it probably gives you the best idea of like, hey, there's some dark colors in here, there's some bright colors in here. But so this is the Vankyo projector. So here's the difference in the quality between these. Having this mounted on a little tripod really made a huge difference. It was pretty easy to focus and really good projector. The speaker on it's way better than the Vankyo projector, and the menu system is also way better. Well, I'll show you the menu system in a little bit, but yeah. By far, better picture quality, and just all around, it was a nicer experience. And I think it's also a little bit brighter too, so the picture quality looks better. Now I'll show you the AAXA P4X. Now this one's way further back here because it just needs to be further back in order to show anything. And it actually for the tiny projector that it is, it does a really good job. Again, AAXA does a great job with the mount on the bottom. Really, this is why I have owned AAXA projectors for so long, because even this tiny one can do a really good job. This one is more pixelated for sure, just because it's got a lower native resolution, but the brightness in this tiny little projector is awesome. So just know, when you're getting an AAXA projector, the brightness is going to be good. Look at the native resolution for what you need, but also something to note is the closer you have a projector to something, so like if you're not comparing your projectors with the same size projection side by side, you're not getting an accurate brightness result. If you've got one that's making a smaller image, it's going to be way brighter than when you back it out. When I put the AAXA P4X projector next to the HP3 projector, the P4X image is much smaller and significantly brighter. But when I back them out to where they're both about the same size image, they're about equivalent. So just know that when you're comparing projectors, brightness, you need to make sure you're getting the same size image out of each of them. Okay, so now we'll cover up the P4X. We've got the Epson projector. Now this should be significantly brighter. Again, totally different class of projector, higher native resolution, higher end projector, much bigger projector, different type of bulb that's way more expensive. You've got a lot of controls with like your keystoning left to right really easily. I can also change the focus really easily, which you can do on most all of them, but you can also change the size of the image like super easily on a projector like this. So really easy to set up, much more expensive, much harder to, it gets much hotter. There's lots of reasons why you wouldn't want to go with something like this. This is a great home movie projector sort of a thing, and if you really need something bright, then this is a different class of projector for a different type of use. Uncover the short throw projector, and so you can see the short throw projector. You would get a short throw projector if you just don't have the room to back up a projector and get the image size that you need. That's why you would get a short throw projector. If you've got a small room, maybe you're projecting on the inside of your house into a window, short throw projector, you won't need to shoot across the room. You can put it fairly close to the window and cover the entire window. So, but again, your price goes up when you go into these type of projectors. Like short throw projectors are generally more expensive because they're more specialty. And this one's huge, it's heavy. You would use something like this for doing like a full home projection mapping sort of thing, and not just in a window. This would be suited for that, or again, projecting in a room into a window where the room is small. Okay, so let's look at the menu system of this AAXA projector. You can see as it's booting up, it opens up super simple. You've got the projector functions or Halloween video player. If we go into the Halloween video player, automatically it goes in. You can play all videos or play a single video on a loop. So if we want to just play a single video, we can do that. And then you can come down, pick your video that you want to play. The one thing that I wish it did was have a thumbnail image of the video, but you could always just rename the videos, because that's the one thing that's kind of annoying, is all of these look like they're named the same thing, but they're different things. So that would be one way that they could improve this system, is have a thumbnail or have it be a different type of list where you could actually read the entire name versus how this is laid out. So if you pick any of these, it'll just start playing and looping. So we'll go hit load. Now this is going to play and loop this single video off of the SD card that is loaded into the projector itself, and it will just play this and loop it over and over and over again. Let's turn up the volume a little bit so you can hear the speaker.
No surrender, eh? Well then, cleave him to the brisket, mate. Pound him back to the sea. Ah! I would hate.
Okay, so the projector can get pretty loud. Like it's not a quiet speaker by any means. It's a good little speaker on there. So, and it's probably the best speaker out of any of the projectors that I have here. The Epson one, any of them, generally the speaker on a projector is pretty awful. But because this one is specifically made for doing projections like this, where they know you might be using the speaker, I think that they put a little bit nicer speaker in it. But again, if you want even higher quality, you got the headphone out jack that you can hook up to a speaker. So that's pretty cool. If we go into our menu system, again, you can do the micro SD. Whoops, let's go here. Go back to the menu system. You got the micro SD card, USB, AV out, or the HDMI source. So that's what I was using previously, was the HDMI source. But again, you can go to your micro SD card and play from there. If you're looking for a projector specifically for Halloween stuff that can also be used for other things like watching movies and things like that, this is a great projector, with the primary reason of buying it for doing window projections or any type of Halloween projection. Some differences to note between a projector like the HP3 and your bigger, more standard projector like this Epson is some things in like the keystoning and stuff like that. So keystoning is making your image line up properly. So if you are shooting at an angle at your screen, let's say your screen's out here and you shoot at an angle like this, you're able to keystone left to right, up and down. This only has keystoning up and down, and it looks like it's kind of a physical keystoning where you are tilting probably a lens, and so it goes from like one trapezoid shape to another trapezoid shape. So you really need to be straight on whatever you're projecting on, and then you're adjusting for the height angle that you're shooting with that. With something like this, on the other hand, you have a lot more control over the keystoning. It's a digital keystoning, so if you're shooting at an angle to something, you're able to get it properly aligned on that. Again, these aren't really meant to compete with each other. Two different projectors for two different use cases, but there are reasons why you would want to go with something like this over something like this, or you might want to go with something like this over something like this. They have their use cases. I just want you to know the difference between them and weigh those out. Again, this is way brighter than something like this, but man, this packs a whole lot of punch and a tiny package that is great. You could probably buy multiples of these for a fraction of the cost that it would buy one of these big projectors. All right, so that's a look at the AAXA Technologies HP3 Halloween projector. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. Give it a like if you like the video, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. It really helps the channel out as I get more subscribers and start growing the channel. And if you're looking for other types of projections that are out there, I do some over on digitaldecorstore.com. Go ahead and check it out. I've got a few products over there that might be unique and interesting that you could use. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.